In the corner of our ring, there was a congregation whose church members and leadership were faced with a problem: the infamous Tate family. These individuals were causing all sorts of trouble within the congregation. Let me introduce you to the 8 members of the Tate family who were present in our corner of the ring. First, we have the old man Dictate, who always wanted to run everything according to his own desires. Then there was Uncle Ro-tate, who constantly tried to change everything and insisted that leadership power and authority should rotate among different individuals. Next up, we had the troublemaking sister named Agitate, who never failed to stir up conflicts within the church. Of course, she had the support of her husband Irritate, who was equally skilled at causing chaos. Whenever a new project was introduced, Hesitate and his wife Vegetate were always the first ones to sit back and procrastinate until the next year. And then there was Imitate, who desperately wanted the church to be just like all the other churches, without any unique identity of its own. Adding to the chaos, Devastate always echoed the voice of doom, spreading negativity wherever he went. And Potentate had an insatiable desire to be a big shot within the congregation. Lastly, the black sheep of the family, Amputate, had completely cut himself off from the church, choosing to distance himself from the community. Perhaps you have encountered members of the Tate family before. Whether you're a leader in any sphere of endeavor or a pastor of a church, chances are you've come across individuals like them. And that's okay, because here's the truth: there is no perfect church anywhere. In fact, I've always maintained that if you ever stumble upon a perfect church, you should pray that you are not the imperfection within it, because the moment you find and join the so-called perfect church, it immediately becomes imperfect. All of this simply reminds us that we are all humans filled with flaws and imperfections. But most importantly, we are sinners saved by grace. When you bring together a group of imperfect people under one roof, challenges and struggles are bound to arise. So let's remember to extend grace and understanding towards those who may resemble members of the Tate family. Let's strive to create an atmosphere of love, forgiveness, and unity within our congregations. After all, we are all in this together, learning and growing in our faith. Ladies and gentlemen, let's shift our focus back to our metaphorical boxing ring, as we prepare to hear from the cornerman in a sermon titled "Resting in the Corner of Our Ring." We previously introduced the Tate family, stirring up some issues in this very corner, and now we are eager to share forthcoming insights from the cornerman, Apostle Armstrong Adakole Ogwuche, the senior pastor of Christ Mandate Bible Church in Gelukstall, Johannesburg, South Africa. For those who are interested in delving deeper into these topics, all this information can be found in the book A Return to the Corner by the Apostle, available on Amazon. Now let's head back to ringside as we prepare to gain valuable wisdom and guidance from the words of our esteemed cornerman.
Sir, there were tools in a bucket, a truck. The tools were in a tools box in the truck, and the driver was driving along, but the tools were jarring each other. The hammer moved from its position and hit the saw, and the saw got angry. Hammer, that's all you do. You just hammer people. You know the hammer, right? The hammer. You just hammer down. You hammer down on people. Keep to your place. And the hammer says, I know you. I know you. You are saw. You saw down people. You saw down other tools. When you see, if I'm not mistaken, you saw down my wood. And the ruler said, both of you keep quiet. I mean, you keep disturbing all the tools. Said, you shut up. You're not a better tool than me. And the clamp say, ruler, you want to rule everybody. You want to rule. You measure everyone. You are too small. You are too much. You are too long. And you are clamping down on people, always holding us down and holding that down. And the tools were all quarreling in the toolbox. But then it was because the truck hit a the road, like your rat, what do you call it now? Hump in the road. And they were all quarreling. How many times have we, being tools in the hands of God, have been quarreling amongst ourselves? And when we meet each other, rather than do what the man of God did or do what the man of God do, we begin to measure each other. We call each other names. You hammer me, you cut me, you do this. But then the man arrived. And once he arrived, he opened the toolbox. He reached down his hands. There was something about this man. There was wound in his hand. There was wound in his hand. And it's a bleeding hand. And he took the saw and he began to cut away. Put it aside. He took the tape measure and began to measure away. He put it aside. Again, he reached down. He took the clamp and he clamped what he was making. And then he put it away. He reached down to the nail and he took the nail and used the hammer to hammer away at what he was doing. And he put it away. And before day was over, he had made a beautiful structure. Something beautiful. And guess what? He used the whole tool in the toolbox. But he used them at his time and when he needed them. Oh, glory be to God. So I was taught that when you see a man whom God is using with his bleeding hand, you will know. The same hand that used the tool is the same hand that have all of us in a box. And he is building a beautiful edifice. When we are in the box, we must not measure each other. We must not clamp on each other. We must not hammer down at each other. We must not cut away at each other. For we all have the same master, the one who bled on the cross. It was not the nail that kept him on the cross. It was love that kept him on the cross. He could come down from the cross any moment he wills, but he was there for you and me. The same carpenter has you and me in this toolbox. Let us not come to this place and fight each other. Let us not measure each other. Let us not clamp each other. And what the man of God demonstrated, Pastor Patrick, he demonstrated that he understands what the master is busy with. When he met me, I felt at home, like I have known him all my life. He is indeed a brother. And I have no doubt that you are in good hands. And God is building something wonderful. Glory be to God. Hallelujah. And so with Jesus' joy, hallelujah, my wife, the woman of God, Prophetess Anele, we just rejoice, and we've been talking about him. She said to me this morning, we have to pass by the man of God. And we're looking at the time and she said, no matter what happened, we have to pass by. Even just to step in the place and go, we must step in here. What I felt, she felt. Oh, hallelujah. My heart leaps for joy. Thank you, man of God. The Lord bless you.